This is Marshall Jones at Winthrop University, and we're continuing with our introduction to evaluation and surveys. This is the second part of the introduction to evaluations. When last we met, we were looking at inputs, processes, outputs, and outcomes to in conducting an evaluation. Having defined those things, there are some things that you need to think about before conducting an evaluation. Why are you doing an evaluation in the first place? What do you want to be able to say at the end? Do you want to be able to talk about student learning? Do you want to be able to talk about return on investment? Do you want to be able to talk about something else? So define very specifically what is it that you want to know. Who are the stakeholders for the evaluation? Who are the people that have some sway over this evaluation or some part in this? So who are you writing this evaluation for? Are you writing it for only for teachers? Are you writing it only for administrators? Are you writing it only for students? Are you writing it for a combination of those people? You want to define the goals of your evaluation, and you want to figure out what your data sources are going to be. If you're working in schools and those data sources could be teachers or students or parents, there might be test scores, there might be documents, a variety of different things. You want to be able to looking at how can you collect this information in a manageable fashion. So when you're writing an evaluation plan, you want to do something that is doable. You can write evaluation plans that are very, very sophisticated, but if you don't have the time, the resources, or the people to implement them, it's kind of pointless. So in some cases, there may be things that you're doing already where you can collect that data so that it will save you time and effort in doing the evaluation. You want to establish a time frame for when this information is going to be needed by the organization, and then look at the resources that you have available to you in collecting this data. Because evaluation is often the last thing that is done, and because sometimes it gets looked over or glossed over because of time, because of resources, it's my advice to make sure that you focus your evaluation on the resources that you have available to you. No evaluation plan is perfect, and perfection is relative to the time and the resources you have available to you. Now, in terms of evaluation, the most important thing that you can have is the data. And so we're going to look at these as sources of information. So who can help you answer the questions? So think about people. Who are the people in the organization that can help you answer those questions? If it's parents, if it's teachers, if it's community members, if it's the custodial staff, whoever those people might be, you want to list those people out. The other thing is, are there data that's already there for you? Things like testing data, graduation rates and referral data in schools, in other organizations, reported incidents such as accident information, HR information, productivity data. Those are any data that already exists. Sometimes we refer to this as document analysis, meaning that these are documents that exist within the organization, and we are going to be analyzing those to help us answer some of the questions about the way the organization works and performs. So you want to figure out what are these sources of information that you can use. And then what you want to do is you want to create the all-important data collection matrix. And the data collection matrix is the sort of the blueprint or the map for your evaluation. You saw a generic example of this at the beginning of this presentation. Looked like this. Now we're going to look at more specifics of how this is done. So again, if we're talking about a school-based evaluation, we're looking at an initiative that's being implemented in a school, we have our evaluation questions. Our evaluation questions they exist here on this side right here. So what do you want to know about? Well, we want to know about student achievement. We want to know about what people think about the initiative. We want to know if our devices are being used appropriately, and we want to know if it's been worth our money. So if there may be some other things that you want to know about as well, but it's probably a good idea to keep your evaluation questions or things you want to know about down to a list of 4, 5, or 6 types of things, just to make it manageable. So once you've got your evaluation questions, then what we want to do is we can begin thinking about where are some places that we can get that data. So for student achievement, well, we're already collecting that data in places like our budget analysis or our MAP testing, our PASS testing. We might get some of that data through class observations, or by doing some document analysis, looking at what students have done, manifestations of learning. Now, notice that if you're looking at student achievement, we're looking at some hard data. And a lot of that data already exists. But one of the things that's really important to know about are the perceptions of the initiative. What do people think about it? What do teachers think about it? What do students think about it? What does the community think about it? So to that end, we may be looking at doing some surveys with students, some surveys with faculty. Again, perhaps class observations could help us. But maybe what we're going to do is we're going to spend some time looking at feedback on our website or on some of our social media feeds to find out what people are saying about it. We're going to take a look at local newspapers and see what people are saying about it. What are the letters to the editor? What are people writing about there? Perceptions of an initiative are really important to understand and are really important to collect data on. If you go back and think about diffusion and adoption theory, and you think about your innovators and your early adopters and your early and late majority, influencing opinion through the use of social cognitive theory is really, really important. So, collecting information on the perceptions of the initiative are really important. And so it goes. So whatever your whatever your question is, you want to figure out sort of where we're going to get this data. And when we create an evaluation matrix like this is pretty much what we do. Where we figure out we can get our data, we just put a big check in that box. And that's what an evaluation matrix is going to look like. So once you do this, then once you do your data collection matrix, then you know where you can go about collecting this data so that you can pull it all together to write your evaluation report. For data that exists already, like MAP testing, PASS testing, those types of things, you don't have to build many instruments for that. But we are going to need to build some data collection instruments for things like student surveys, faculty surveys, observation checklists, rubrics, those types of things. We'll have to build those specifically to collect data about our to help us support our evaluation.